In this anime, our protagonist's name is Kazuhiro Kitase. He's a very calm and quiet person, so much so that he prefers going home rather than having a drink with his co-workers. He's just an office worker, a regular, ordinary corporate slave. When he gets home, he usually cooks his own food and places it next to his bed before sleeping. Kitase makes it clear that since childhood he has loved fantasy worlds, those places full of swords and shields where you normally defeat monsters with magic. He used to read books of that kind all day long, until one day he started having strange dreams. He would wake up in one of those worlds, and the first thing he did was check the time. At that moment, it was 7 o'clock in the morning. Although he's an adult in real life, in that place he is very young and loves defeating all the monsters. Even if the battles don't end well, he always wakes up again in his bed. Kaito stops for a moment to wash his face. Suddenly a woman approaches him. This beautiful alpha is named Maribel, but he calls her Mari. Even though she looks young, she is over 100 years old. Kitase is very happy to see her since she has been very busy with the Mages Guild. She is also happy but bothered that he went camping in the forest again, saying he looks more like an elf than she does. She calls him Kaito because when he registered his name, he was just a child and didn't know how to write it. He invites Mari to investigate some nearby ruins, which offends her because women don't like being invited to visit ruins. Kaito offers her food to accompany him, and she finally accepts. The ruins they are going to are called Nazul. Nazul, an underground city that was abandoned thousands of years ago, but that's just what they say. There are no signs of combat in these ruins. They are completely intact. The main theory about the ruins' fall is some unknown virus, which is very strange because such an advanced magical civilization would never fall to something like that. This makes it one of the 7 great mysteries of the area they are in. Mari asks if he would be able to solve this mystery, but Kaito tells her that it doesn't matter. He just wants to have fun investigating, and with her, it will be even better. After entering, Mari uses some magical torches to light up the area, and the two sit down to eat. The girl fell in love with how good the food is, and asks where it comes from. Then Kaito says it's from his homeland. Yeah folks, it's the same food he placed next to his bed before sleeping. When they finish eating, they continue investigating. Suddenly, Mari gets scared seeing a monster. She tells him to be careful, but Kaito doesn't care. He runs straight toward the creature. Unlike what we thought, the two are friends. Actually, the lizard congratulates Kaito for walking with such a hot elf, but he tells the lizard that she only cares about his food, nothing more. The point is that they are speaking the monster's language. Actually, Kaito speaks the elves' language with Mari. Yes folks, he's trilingual. It was a matter of necessity. He says that whenever he tried to speak with them, he ended up being attacked, forcing him to take 3 years to learn the new language. He tells Mari that there is a dragon living in the ruins. Also, it's the breeding season, so the lizard told him to be careful. Even so, Kaito says he wants to see the dragon's eggs. Mari warns him that it's very dangerous, but again he just ignores her. After that, they arrive at a completely dark place. Mari has a night vision spell that she could have cast at the beginning, but she was lazy, even though there's a huge dragon sleeping there. If they don't make noise, there's no problem. But when Mari sees the dragon, she gets scared and grabs Kaito. After this grab, he ends up thinking some nonsense. She notices this and gets angry because he's not paying attention to her, and she raises her voice. The dragon gets pissed because they woke him from his beauty sleep. All the doors they entered close. The two are trapped with a dragon that immediately starts breathing fire at them. Kaito doesn't care much because he's in a dream. He wakes up as if nothing happened in his bed, and he really enjoyed spending that time with Mari. Looking to the side, he realizes that Mari is also with him. He doesn't understand what's happening, but certainly the dreams he has are more mysterious than he thought. When she wakes up, it takes her a while to realize that she's naked. All she notices is Kaito's face, which is much older. He says he'll explain later and asks if she's okay, since technically they were just burned by a dragon. This makes Mari realize that she's naked, letting out a huge scream. She demands women's clothing, but since Kaito lives alone, he doesn't have any women's clothes at home, so he goes to buy something for her to wear, even as everyone judges him. On his way back, he realizes that Mari is admiring a landscape she had never seen before. She gets very excited, thinking that Kaito is a millionaire for living in such a high place. She thinks she's in paradise or some kind of amusement park. She points to a giant tower, thinking that a famous mage lives there. Since he took the day off, he asks if she wants to go for a walk. She gets very excited about the invitation and ends up jumping on him, but when she realizes she's naked, she hits him with a pillow. Fortunately, he already bought clothes for her, so she gets dressed. Meanwhile, Kaito reflects on his situation, thinking that if he can travel with Mari from his dream, that means it could be a parallel reality. At that moment, Mari is very happy with her new clothes. Then she asks if they are in his homeland, the one he talks about so often. He says yes, and will tell her about Japan as they head somewhere. But first, he gives her a hat, since her ears could draw a lot of attention for not being normal in this world. She thinks the hat is very beautiful and accepts it with pleasure. She's super excited to explore this new place and wants to leave soon. While in the car, she became very traumatized. Maybe it was too early to introduce her to this, Kaito takes her to eat something, and the waitress likes Mari because she looks very happy. He orders food and something interesting happens. Mari doesn't know the language they are speaking. She doesn't understand any Japanese. So the two continue speaking in Elvish, and that's good, that way others won't understand. Mari wants some answers and wants Kaito to explain to her how he got to this place, as she doesn't remember anything after being hit by the dragon. Kaito explains that he doesn't really have much idea what's happening. He tells her that when he was a child, he used to have frequent dreams of being in another world, but that never seems strange since it only happened to him. For Kaito, that life was just a product of his imagination. This morning everything changed when she woke up next to him, making him realize that maybe that world is also real. And about age, he says that time flows differently in the two worlds. His real age is 25 years old. She thinks 25 is very old, but she already felt that he was someone very mature for his appearance. The food arrives and she is again impressed. They enjoy the food and spend quality time together. Then they walk along a path full of cherry blossoms, and it's in this place that he welcomes her to Japan. She just approaches and takes his arm to walk together. Love is truly beautiful. At nightfall, Mari asks Kaito what will happen if she can't return to her world. He says, yawning, that she can live together with him. They can have fun and travel around Japan, making clear the wonders of his world. Even embarrassed, she doesn't think it's a bad idea. Back home, he comments to Mari that she can take a bath if she wants. When she sees the bathtub working, she thinks it's magic. Kaito gives her soap and she thinks he's a noble, spoiling her with luxuries. While she relaxes, Kaito, as the man of the house, is cooking. He is happy to see this new side of her since she never behaved like that in the other world. When she gets out of the bath, she is eager to taste his food because it looks spectacular, and indeed it was. Of all the dishes she's tried, this was the best so far. He tells her that when they return to the other world, they can take even more food. Mari asks him if he has ever tried to take anything else. He says he's tried to take watches, flashlights, and things like that, but none worked. Kaito jokes a bit with the flashlight. Since she didn't know it, she wasn't very impressed. For her, Earth's technology is not allowed in the other world. Probably some god prevents it or something. It's a theory. There's likely someone in charge of enforcing the rules. The same rules that allow or not allow things to happen to Kaito. For example, it was allowed that she could be brought to him. That means he has some responsibility to fulfill. That's why Mari asks if anyone asked him for anything specific or if he has any mission to do, but he replies no. He's never mentioned his world to anyone, and that's pretty normal since he thought they were dreams. Moreover, he doesn't even remember the details of the first time he traveled, but there's nothing to do, so they drop the subject. Kaito wants to solve the problem they already have. When they travel to the other world, they'll probably be facing the dragon that defeated them the first time. That's why they should plan different strategies together. Otherwise, he won't be able to sleep because of that dragon. Besides, the creature is not just any creature, it's an arc dragon. When Mari saw its breath for the first time, she got scared. That's because they have infinite magical energy, besides being more intelligent than humans. In the past, they have destroyed islands and even created volcanoes. They are beings that have fought against demons and humans many times. He asks Mari if she knows anything about its personality, but she says dragons don't have personalities, but that's just what she thinks. The only information she has is that their scales produce magical energy and are very valuable. With just a small piece of the scale, you would become very rich. Then she tells a legend about a dragon that took human form to visit a people. The point is that he did nothing. He spent several days there and then left. The place of the legend is the small port town of Oslo. This gives Kaito an idea, and he approaches the refrigerator with a smile. When it's time to sleep, Mari is comfortable in the bed that looks like a king's. She reaches out her hand, inviting him to join her. Her goal is to try to return to her world. He gets very embarrassed, especially when she clings to him. The last time they traveled, they were hugging, so they decide to repeat that. Even dying of shame, they really managed to return to Mari's world. Before they realize it, they are already hit by the dragon. The two manage to dodge, but he tells her not to let go of him. The plan is to try to talk to the dragon. So Kaito introduces himself and apologizes for having entered its nest, saying he just wanted to see the dragon's balls and ended up involving his friend. Then he asked the dragon to spare their lives. He said all this in the dragon's language. Yes, folks, this guy speaks every possible language. Finally, he offers alcohol to appease the dragon. It's not as stupid an idea as you're thinking. Kaito has been through Oslo, the city of legend. He remembered that this place is famous for its barley alcohol. In fact, it's the only thing that stands out in that village, and this theory really worked. When he opens the alcohol, the dragon tells Kaito that he is quite an interesting human since he knows how to speak the dragon's language. The dragon remembers having killed them yesterday, but here they are alive, as if nothing had happened. happened. Therefore, he wants to know how they did that. That's the condition to let them live. When Kaito explains, the dragon finds it mysterious, but at the same time amusing. He sees that the two have no more intentions, and even shows them his eggs. They get very excited to witness them. The dragon smells something strange, so he asks what Kaito is hiding. It's the food he was carrying. Since it's very large, the dragon has difficulty communicating, and the alcohol they brought for him won't even wet his tongue. So she decides to cast a spell that releases magic everywhere, and suddenly she vomits, and that disgusting creature transforms into this beautiful draconian girl. The girl wastes no time and asks Kaito to pass the beer and the food immediately, but she realizes she might be being rude and perhaps abusing him. For that reason, she says that in exchange, she will give him one of her scales covered in magic. Marie doesn't understand anything since they are literally speaking another language. But Kaito accepts the deal. The draconian eats like a dragon to the point of even choking. But thanks to that, she tastes the beer, becoming amazed at how good it is. Then she asks Kaito if people eat this habitually, but he replies that these are things that don't exist in this world, and that's good because she was already thinking about destroying cities to get more. Marie is happy that they got out of this alive. Mari goes crazy when Kaito tells her that they got a dragon scale. Any mage would give all their wealth to get one like this. These scales have already started wars. The draconian is sad that the food is already gone. Kaito shows that he has another one, but he regrets it a little because this lunch is Marie's. She gives him a blue stone in return. She has no idea why people value it. Kaito asks about the color. When the draconian was having her eggs, her blue blood fell on top of these stones. Immediately, Mari tells him to accept the deal and trade the lunch. After that, the two are free to leave and can visit her whenever they want, but they must always bring more food. Mari can't believe what happened. They obtain many precious objects for mere lunches. They say that this stone is capable of curing any disease. Like the scale, it is so valuable that she doesn't know what to do. Selling or simply donating to someone in need is not an option since its value is too great. People will start asking where the two got it. Since the two wouldn't be able to keep a secret, people would end up bothering the draconian. This makes Kaito solve the mystery of these ruins. His theory is based on the fact that the Arc Dragon lays its eggs every 1,000 years or so. So those who used to live there must have tried to take them, causing the dragon to chase them to the city and expel all its inhabitants, then create the nest where it is now. Mari tells Kaito to keep the relics they just obtained. He is worried because he could lose them, but she replies that it's no problem. At least in the future, they will be able to go into a bar and say that they met the Arc Dragon. Kaito thinks it's certainly a good story to tell his children, which makes Mari very embarrassed. When the two leave, they decide to go eat something in the nearest town, as well as find a place to stay and sleep. Kaito can sleep anywhere since he'll return to Japan as always, but she gets very sad since it would be their goodbye. However, she says she will sleep with him since she also wants to return so that he can teach her Japanese and about his country, which makes Kaito very happy. Days later, they are already sharing this somewhat complicated life. When he arrives home from work, he finds her studying Japanese. For him, it's still incredible to see a hot elf in his house. Mari was so concentrated that she didn't even notice him arrive. He tells her that the ground meat at the supermarket was very cheap, so they're going to eat gyoza. While he prepares everything, Mari starts practicing her Japanese presentation. Kaito is surprised that she is learning very quickly. Her method that works is to learn one phrase and then add more, taking advantage of the opportunity to travel between two worlds while sleeping. She studies double. Her goal is to hold a conversation in 2 months. He is sure she will succeed. Kaito asks her to smell the wine he's going to put on the table for them to drink. She doesn't understand very well and ends up coming close to smell him, saying that he smells very good. When she finds out she misunderstood, she dies of shame. Later, they start eating. She's enchanted by the food and ends up getting drunk from the alcohol in the wine. While he washes the dishes, Mari asks what happens to things from the other world when they come to Earth. Kaito believes that all these possessions, including her body, become invisible because if they were there, they would have been stolen long ago, which again makes Mari think that someone controls this. He would like to unravel this mystery someday, but he's in no hurry at the moment. Kaito asks if there is any place they can go for a walk, but she says she can't spend her whole life playing. She has responsibilities in her position in the other world, including a very complicated study about ancient magic. This catches Kaito's attention, who asks if she has ever seen any magical stones. Mari replies that no one has ever seen them, and they are considered just a legend, but after seeing the draconian, she doesn't believe anything is impossible. Kaito takes the opportunity to make an invitation and asks her to explore a place where they say there is a quarry of magical stones. She accepts, but in return asks him to bring food. When it's time to sleep, he realizes that her warmth makes him fall asleep faster, but he is is curious whether after she learns enough about Japanese, she will want to end the relationship with him. After waking up in the other world, there's a little bird right on Kaito's forehead. After getting up, he picks a flower and the two start planning the exploration. The specific place is called Uya Ruins. It's very far and Mari is worried about that, but Kaito calms her down, saying that he has a teleportation ability. So she approaches and the two fall into a pulse with different exits. He explains that they are on a level below the world and there they can move much faster over long distances. It's an ability almost exclusive to merchants and is very little known. One of the steps to activate this ability are to write your name on a statue of the god of travel. With that, you receive permission to travel this way, but only once a day. Its other disadvantage is that you cannot appear in places where there are very powerful and dominant beings. An example is the dragon they met. Finally, there is also a weight limit for the trip, but since Mari is very light, there's no problem at all, which makes her realize that she's being carried like a princess. So she asks him to put her on the ground. He has no idea what happens if a person falls down there, so she tells Mari to stay close to him. When they arrive at the location, we see that Kaito places the flower he had picked earlier on a statue. This is nothing more than a tradition. He must always offer a flower at the place he arrives. They continue the journey. Kaito tells the reason why the old quarry they are going to is so well known. There, various magical stones were extracted that were used to create magical objects, becoming a prosperous hub for the population. To protect themselves, the people created a huge fortress, but there came a point where they could no longer find magical stones. From then on, the area fell into darkness. Although they say that those who visit the place can still feel the power of these stones hidden in the earth because they never run out. Mari shows no interest in the story because she's dying of heat. He says there's a place ahead where they can rest. She just has to hold on a little longer, making him question whether she'll really withstand the heat of Japan. She will only follow because she doesn't want to hate him for bringing her to this place. From afar, it looked like just a simple mountain, but when they enter, they see that there are several buildings. Mari asks him if he really thinks they'll find any magical stones. He answers that he has no idea. If someone had found something, the place would probably be very crowded, but they can continue in the hope of finding something else. She says she won't be able to stay there for many days and won't become a dried up twig just to find a stone. Suddenly, he turns around feeling a strange presence. Even without being able to find anything, he remains alert with Mari until they find the place they were waiting for, the famous oasis, which will refresh them and they'll still be able to eat peacefully. While eating this wonderful food, the two feel curious about the abilities they possess. In this world, they are developing many. Some are different and others they tend to share. She says she can show him the status bar, but he must not tell anyone, just because she's in the Mages Guild. After that, she's very surprised to see that he has a very high level, and is the first person she knows with level 72. He didn't expect her to have such a low level, but Marie justifies herself, saying that she studies spiritual magic and general magic at the same time, which prevents her from leveling up quickly. Soon, we see that mages are responsible for recovering ancient arts. Some countries even hire them to fight in wars, and among mages, few become spiritual mages like Mari. She, on the other hand, is very surprised to see his illusory swordsman ability, something she had never seen before. Finally, the two advance to see what they find, but soon we see a boy with a sad look. While in the background, many people are talking about Kaito and Mari. Apparently, the two are being watched. Meanwhile, the two continue talking about their abilities and what they can do. Mari suddenly summons a very beautiful salamander. She explains to Kaito that spiritual mages summon these insects to use magic through them, and since she has an affinity with spirits, she can use several at once. They were fine, but suddenly a monster appeared. It emerged from the water. Kaito uses his illusory sword ability, appearing behind the monster, where he finishes it off without any problem. But it wasn't just that one. Several monsters appeared, but Kaito goes all in. What he doesn't know is that there are several bandits watching him from afar. Behind the henchman appears the boss, who uses an eye ability, allowing him to know that Kaito has something valuable in his backpack. His henchman asks what they should do, since the kid is very good at defending himself, but the boss tells them to use that thing. They bring the sad boy we saw earlier. He will be forced to play a role he doesn't want. After finishing all the monsters, Kaito notices something strange. When he looks closely, he sees a boy with something shining in his hand. Mari identifies him as a beast child. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake. A giant monster emerges from the water. We see two of them as its prey. Kaito quickly thinks about what he can do, but immediately chooses to hug Mari, since the monster attacks them at that same moment with magic. The two wake up frightened. Kaito is very happy to see her well and gives her a hug. Then he says he's going to prepare something warm for the two of them. He can't stop thinking that they were being watched in those ruins, since while fighting the monsters, he felt several people around him. For him, they are bandits who must be looking for their bodies and the things they had. Mari wonders if that boy was also part of the group, but Kaito thinks that boy looked very scared, so he was probably just being used. They see through the window that the sun is starting to rise, so Mari asks if he's going to work, but he says no, since it's Saturday he has the day off, so he's going to stay with her to help her study or maybe go out to eat, which makes her very excited. They start the day walking by a river. Kaito is very curious, so he asks if she is able to hear the water spirits. She says no, because she doesn't hear their voices since they are in a very distant world. She's already tried to summon one to make a pact, but it didn't work out. That's how Kaito felt when he first went to her world, as if he were back at level 1 again. At that moment, they hear a little cat resting on a bench. She thinks it's very cute and runs to pet it. At first, the cat is strange, but she ends up gaining its trust. Kaito thinks it's very cute and also very crazy for an elf to pet a cat, but he can't take it when she starts meowing and starts laughing. Their next stop is to take Mari to a library so she can buy books in Japanese and get even better at the language. She is very surprised to see everything clean and bright, since the libraries she knew in her world only have darkness and dust. Everything was great until Mari realized that Kaito took her to the children's book section. She feels very offended because he's treating her like a child. He tries to get out of this situation, saying that if she doesn't like it, they can look for other types of books. But he's lucky that she liked it very much. After giving it a chance, she saw how cool it is. There are many pictures, many colors, meaning the books are illustrated, which makes it much easier for people who are learning. He realized that she liked a specific one and tries to encourage her to read, but Mari still can't understand the symbols of the language. And then he offers to read to her. She must pick the one she liked the most, and the two will take it. She finally chooses a book about a little cat that looks like the one they met earlier. They arrive at the reception, and Kaito meets a girl he knows. Her name is Shijo. She teases him, saying that he's walking with a very beautiful young woman. Kaito says that she's a foreign relative, so Shijo tries to greet her. She has no idea how to respond, but tries to put her Japanese into practice. With Kaito's motivation, she ends up introducing herself as Mari Bell. The problem is that Shijo adds the word chan to her name, which is a specific word to refer to someone affectionately or with whom you have trust. Because of that, Mari returns the favor, calling her Shijo-chan, making the girl embarrassed by the cute way Mari said it. Kaito and Shijo talk a little more. She asks if he intends to get with Mari. He's a man, he can't deny wanting to do that, but he won't try anything since Mari is very innocent and he doesn't want to be hated by her. Shijo understands perfectly, so she changes the subject and continues her work, asking for a library credential. Kaito takes the opportunity to change his address, since he recently moved, but coincidentally Shijo lives in the same building, so Shijo takes the opportunity to invite them to go out from time to time. She would love to be Mari's friend. They make it clear that there's no problem with that, and say goodbye, leaving Kaito with the hope that Shijo will become Mari's first friend. When they get home, before he cooks, Kaito puts on a short children's movie they bought at the library. Mari has the perception that it's incredible, colorful magic, and can't believe that all of this comes from the TV with just technology. He's going to make some pancakes for her to eat while watching the movie. The pancakes turned out very delicious, but she asks to watch the movie from the beginning, and if it's not too much trouble, she wants him to explain what's happening so she can understand better. Kaito sees no problem with that and closes the windows so they can see the movie better. In a specific scene showing old houses in Japan, it made him remember that his grandfather lives in an area where houses still maintain that peculiar style, so he invites Mari to visit him someday. For her, it seems like a perfect idea, and the best part is that soon Kaito will be on vacation so they can go anytime. The two continue having fun, laughing and enjoying the moment until the movie ends. Mari throws herself on top of Kaito like a crazy woman. She loved the movie and is very excited. Clearly she loves books, but above all she loves imagining. For her, watching a movie is like seeing someone else's imagination. Kaito tells her that in Japan there are all kinds of anime, video games and fun things that will fascinate her when she understands Japanese better, and this motivates her even more to continue studying. Therefore, she kindly asks to watch the movie again. He puts it on again for her to watch. But while she's having fun, he goes to prepare dinner. When he's finishing, Mari decides to take a bath, but suddenly everything starts shaking because of a small earthquake. Even for him, it's not a concern. Mari runs out naked to hug him from the fright she got. She has no idea what's happening and is very scared. She lets out a scream when she realizes she's naked in front of him and asks him to close his eyes while she gets dressed. Kaito feels proud of himself because he managed to hold back. When it's time to serve the food, she comes out very sad about what happened and apologizes. Kaito also apologizes. Oh, he should have warned her that in Japan there are many earthquakes. The two pretend nothing happened and go to eat. Today's food is called curry. Even though it's very spicy, Mari doesn't stop eating because the taste is very good. When they finish eating, they talk about what they should do when they return to the other world. Mari gets desperate with the fact that Kaito is so calm, despite the situation they need to face, and he tells her that they shouldn't worry. Unlike when they were sent to Japan, now they can make the other journey with his teleport teleportation ability. Also, since they are good people, they are thinking about what they should do to help the Beast Boy. Mari also remembers that the records that spoke of this race mentioned that they were experts in using magical stones. So there is a small possibility that the child controlled that beast with some kind of similar stone. That said, the two go to sleep. Before that, Kaito reads the book they got from the library. Mari gradually falls asleep. Kaito reflects on how his life has changed since Mari came to live with him and turns off the lights, sleeping beside her. Now we have the opportunity to learn a little about the Beast Boy's life. His name is Meg. He was with his grandfather, who showed him a magical stone for the first time. When Meg touched it, the stone began to glow brightly. The grandfather tells Meg that since ancient times, their race has had the power to control this type of stone. Actually, the one they were showing was very special, but not in a positive way, because it was responsible for the destruction of their own people. Meg remembered these moments crying while holding the same stone. Now Mari and Kaito are ready to rescue Meg and expel the bandits. The plan begins with Mari summoning her spirits, using them to become invisible. Even though Kaito is very surprised, he still asks her not to take too many risks. She asks the same of him. Also, when the two return, she wants him to continue reading the book they left half finished. He accepts and heads toward the houses. The plan is as follows. They want to find the boy, but for that they need to provoke the bandits first, forcing them to use Meg so that he again summons water monsters. At that moment, Kaito will approach the boy and help him while Mari distracts the monster. When Kaito finds the first bandit, he warns Mari to get ready and says he's counting on her, leaving her happy with that phrase. She uses her fire spirits on the ground that shoot at the monster. Everything goes well. Mari manages to distract the monsters. Meanwhile, Kaito just watches to see if he finds Meg. Everything works out. The boy appears and Kaito goes after him. Meg is scared because he doesn't know what's happening, thinking that the two are seeking revenge against him. But Kaito calms him down by speaking in his beast language, so he knows that he came to be rescued. The boy is surprised that he speaks his language. Kaito explains that his hobby is learning other languages, but the two don't have time to chat. Kaito asks if he was captured. Meg replies yes, because his race is very weak. He and his grandfather lived in hiding because if humans found them, they would do terrible things. And the proof is that they were found. And on that day, the humans appeared and burned down his house along with his grandfather. This makes Kaito very sad, but they don't have time now and need to leave as soon as possible. Despite distrusting humans, Meg desperately asks for help because he doesn't want to keep doing the bad things he's being forced to do. He hates summoning monsters to hurt travelers passing by. At that moment, someone throws a knife at them, but Kaito dodges it without problems. Behind them is the bandit leader with his henchmen, saying that they know he escaped yesterday thanks to a teleportation ability. Our protagonist calmly says that he's right and asks him to release Meg since the shackles won't be so easy to remove. So he proposes to free him in exchange for the treasures he carries in his backpack, showing the key to the shackles to prove he's not lying. Kaito realizes that if he was interested in his treasures, he must have a detection ability, so he smiles and teleports in front of him to break the key in an instant. That way Meg is free, but the problem isn't over yet. Now the bandit is furious and wants to make Kaito pay with suffering. Even so, Kaito doesn't let himself be intimidated and goes on to defeat the most annoying henchmen one by one with his ability. One of them is creating illusory copies of himself to distract them while Meg hides. The boy is surprised, but humbly Kaito says he's not as strong as he seems. He is just an expert at escaping thanks to his sword and his illusion ability, but he's not very good at protecting others, so he asks Meg to hide. Meanwhile, he will continue fighting. Meg introduces himself, and Kaito does too. The bandits try to stay alert, but it's useless against him, who continues making fools of them all. Kaito takes the opportunity to communicate with Mari, who tells him that the monster has gone back to hiding in the waters thanks to Meg's help. But he asks Mari not to move yet. There's one thing bothering him. The bandit leader doesn't show any irritation at all. He's standing there with two henchmen protecting his back. Suddenly, we see what he was doing. The bandit was using his ability to find Mari, but luckily, Kaito hears that they're going after her, so he goes to defeat those who are heading toward her. But what he didn't expect was that the bandit leader was using his henchmen as bait, so he casts a powerful spell that burns everyone. But luckily, Kaito dodges. This makes him realize that this bandit is not just anyone. He's a mage who doesn't care about sacrificing his own henchmen. Everything gets worse when the bandit shows that they've captured Meg again. With no choice, Kaito teleports to where they are. Even so, the situation becomes even more worrying as the bandit discovers that Kaito's teleportation ability has a weight limit, because if it weren't for that, he would have fled with the child from the beginning. Kaito steps back a little, overwhelmed because the bandit is right. Kaito releases his sword, which serves to remove the weight limit, managing to teleport with the boy, but the teleportation ended up throwing them to a very high place. Even so, the sand cushions the fall. Fortunately, the two are fine and keep moving. The only thing the bandits didn't expect was that the monster would reappear and knock them all down. But the monster also stands before Kaito, who knows he can't escape this huge monster, but he can't die now. That way, Mari will be left alone. However, the monster has no intention of hurting them. What it does is release some strange threads that go toward them, as if they were looking looking for something. Meg understands that it's about the magical stone. This is thanks to his grandfather having told him that when they extracted this stone, they awakened a creature from the depths of the earth. When it came out, it advanced against the people, and his ancestors had to flee to Ouya. Since then, his race has hidden from humans, but also from this monster living in the shadows. Hearing this, Kaito tells him to do what is right. Meg apologizes to the monster and returns the magical stone. When it receives it, that monster returns to the earth. There was no explanation of why it had been looking for that stone for over 200 years, but the important thing now is that it will finally be able to rest in the depths. Upon the monster's exit, it revealed an underground labyrinth as it descended. Mari runs toward Kaito. He, upon seeing her, has the feeling of reuniting with her after a long time. She's fine, but asks what happened. Kaito also has no idea. The only thing he does is show the labyrinth next to them. A great discovery. She gets even more excited about the cat boy, so she hugs him and squeezes him because he's very cute. At nightfall, we see Kaito communicating what happened, causing the guards to take charge of arresting the bandits. And about Meg, they will keep him safe so he can help the nation extract magical stones if needed, and then the country will treat him well. In addition, they will delve into the labyrinth, which could be beneficial for their nation, which is called Arale. The guard hopes for good things, but this could also cause bad things, but only time will tell. Either way, this unknown situation only makes Kaito even more excited. After that, we see many people gathered talking about the magical stones. It seems that since then, many people have been visiting the place where Mari and Kaito were. Kaito is excited because everyone is talking about the labyrinth they found. Mari says that's obvious, since whoever finds the stones will become rich. Normally, foreign people wouldn't be allowed to explore them. However, they receive permission to do so. But Mari brings the news that she doesn't know if she'll be able to participate, since the Mages Guild won't allow it due to her current level. Since the labyrinth is still a mystery, they'll prefer to send a high-level mage to avoid risks. Knowing this, Kaito already loses interest in doing the exploration. The only fun for Kaito was exploring with her, which makes Mari embarrassed. Now, something interesting happens. It seems that the Draconian can hear them through the object she gave them, and she thinks they are very ignorant. They don't know what is hidden in the labyrinth. Precisely at this moment, her eggs begin to crack the shell, something that only happens once every 1,000 years. For her, it's a shame that the two aren't there to see it with her. The truth is that she already wants to see them again, because she wants to eat more of those delicious lunches. Mari eats with Kaito very happily. Her bread drips onto the plate, but he says to just wipe the bread and it's no problem. After that, buttoning his shirt, he insists that it would be good to explore the labyrinth, since they have more advantages than others. Mari thinks that advantage is not being able to die, but Kaito replies that he doesn't want to rely on that. The fact is that, unlike others, they don't need to carry resources because they can literally reappear in Japan anytime and bring their lunches, thus reducing the weight load, or they need to return every time to get more things. And at bedtime, obviously, they don't need to worry. She thinks it's unfair. Even though he doesn't need her, she insists on wanting to go too. Kaito asks if there's any way to convince the guild. She says yes, there is a small rule that allows the discoverer to investigate it, and that person must bring an ally to explore. That is, they need to show that they can handle it on their own. Even though it's not easy at all, they'll think of a plan to succeed. With that said, they say goodbye. Kaito needs to go to work, but before he leaves, he says something important to Mari that we can't hear. Even so, before he leaves, Mari tries to hold him in a very affectionate way, giving him encouragement to work well. During the trip, Kaito reflects that the corporate slave life is horrible. Every Monday is terrible, but he can use this time to think, especially to find a way to impress the guild. Since in that world he looks like a little child, he'll have to do something that leaves them speechless. This reminds him of the fight against the bandits and all the mistakes he made, like falling into their traps, and on top of that, letting them find Mari. Even though nothing happened to her, he doesn't intend to allow something like that to happen again, so he needs to find some way to improve his skills. Another bad thing about the team is that the two are attackers, so there's no one to provide defense. And the worst of all is that Kaito doesn't know anyone to help them, nor does he have the money to hire someone. Meanwhile, Mari is cleaning the house very excitedly, something that is much easier to do in this world, thanks to the useful tools that exist. When she finishes, she starts studying. She really wants to watch anime and understand everything the characters say. When she's done, it's time to cook. She feels very insecure, not knowing if she can do it, and tries to remember something that Kaito said. Apparently, it was just a warning. She saved the chicken that she could put in the oven to eat, and gave her some instructions so she could do it. She tries. While waiting for the chicken to cook, she goes back to studying, noticing that the smell is already coming out. She takes the chicken out and eats it while watching the anime, finding it as always very good. Kaito is eating a bread roll, imagining that it would be much tastier if he were eating with Mari. At that moment, he receives a message from Shijo, asking what he thought of the illustrated book for Mari. He says she liked it a lot, and Shijo proposes that they have the date they talked about before. She'll invite her husband, so it would be a couple's date. Kaito would normally refuse, but now that he has Mari, he accepts. After that, we see the two waiting and having a cup of coffee. The coffee is very bitter. She makes a face as if she doesn't like it, so he sweetens it with milk and sugar. sugar, leaving it much more flavorful. Noticing his smile, she asks why he's been smiling so much these days. The truth is that looking at her makes him smile all the time, as if time simply stops, leaving her very embarrassed, to the point of kicking him and pulling his cheeks. At that moment, Shijo and her husband arrive. Her husband's name is Toru. Kaito extends his hand and introduces them to Mari, but she herself speaks Japanese, saying, "Good evening, nice to meet you." She does this in a very cute way, and Shijo and her husband keep looking at her, but she is bothered that her husband is looking at her in a very silly way, and even said he didn't expect her to be so beautiful. And Shijo gets jealous and punches him. This makes Mari think she said something wrong when she sees them fighting. Kaito calms her down, saying she spoke perfectly. Toru says he reserved a restaurant table so they can have fun. They go to a very fancy French restaurant. Inside the restaurant, it is normally not allowed to wear a hat, but Kaito hopes they will forgive it this time. Anyway, Toru is a bit rough but kind. He notices that Kaito is a bit tight on prices and says he shouldn't worry because he'll pay for everything, since it was his wife who practically forced them to come. Also, he's excited because his wife let him leave work early. She usually tells him to work overtime. Mari doesn't understand why there are so many utensils next to her plate. Kaito explains that there, food is served course by course. That's why you should use them one by one, starting from the outside in. That's something Mari finds very fancy. The young man asks them to relax and start having fun. From there, they enjoy several luxurious dishes and have a lot of fun laughing and getting to know each other. This whole experience of eating very tasty food makes Mari worried because she'll never be able to eat something like that again in her world. They end up getting too excited and feel embarrassed in front of Shijo and Toru, who notice that the two look like a beautiful newly in love couple, making Shijo think that they are relatives. They get along so well, Toru doesn't care and asks bluntly if they are dating, making Kaito choke on his wine, but he makes it clear with all his strength that it's not that. Changing the subject, Shijo congratulates Mari on her Japanese, saying that you can see she's trying very hard. When Mari understands, she responds the best she can, saying it's a difficult language, but she likes learning it by watching anime. This catches Shijo's attention because she recognizes the anime Mari talks about, since she's also a huge fan. Kaito also comments that they're going to visit his grandfather on vacation. The city's name is Almore, since Mari wants to know what the place is like. But before that, he would like her to get used to traveling to closer places. So, Toru recommends that they spend a day in Shibu, a city in Saitama. But it's not the bald Saitama everyone knows, it's just a village. He has a friend there who owns an onsen, the famous heated baths, and he usually goes there with Shijo. It's a traditional place where everyone could relax peacefully. Seeing the photos, Mari looks very curious, so Kaito asks if she wants to go. When he realizes that the two are going anyway, Toru already makes the reservation. Kaito is very happy to accept, although he also thinks they seem to be deciding things too quickly. At the end of the date, Kaito thanks Toru for everything, but actually Toru is the one who is grateful to him. It has been a long time since he's had so much fun with his wife, commenting that she laughed a lot with Mari. Shijo also approaches to ask Kaito to allow Mari to visit her apartment from time to time. Obviously there's no problem. Actually, since he works a lot, she can keep Mari company, although she's still a little insecure, so Kaito asks Mari what she thinks. Since the two will have fun watching anime and playing, she thinks it's fantastic. However, Kaito seems a little worried, which makes Mari think he's very overprotective, since in this world there are no monsters. There's no reason to be like that, but he makes it clear that there are humans who can be more dangerous than monsters. Toru notices the doubt, so he gives the advice to relax and think about it later. On the way back, Mari tells him how she felt. At first, she was afraid to talk to people she didn't know, both in Japan and in the other world, but he is the only person she feels comfortable with. She is very happy that she tried, and is therefore very grateful to him. Although Kaito thinks it's the opposite. He tells Mari that ever since she arrived, everything around him has changed, even the most boring Sunday anime. He watches it laughing if he has her on his mattresses. That's why he thanks her for coming to Japan. Realizing that they are both confessing, they get embarrassed and walk back home holding hands. On the way, Kaito remembers the labyrinth. On second thought, he prefers to leave it to the Mages Guild, until they at least guarantee safety. Mari would like to tell him not to worry, but she knows him and knows that he's very protective and stubborn, so she agrees. Kaito asks if it's true, if he's really overprotective and stubborn. Mari replies that it's obvious that he has no idea how much. The two return to the other world, and soon we see a man informing about the labyrinth that was recently discovered. The place seems to be quite deep, and its scale is not yet known at the moment, receiving a provisional classification of difficulty level AA. Even so, it could be higher. Everyone seems very excited. All this is heard by Kaito and Mari. She wonders why all these crazy people are happy, since the exploration could be very dangerous. Kaito realizes that the guy is just stirring up people and replies that the more dangerous the place, the more treasures they can find. The man continues speaking, saying that they have already found some magical stones and will now restrict the area to authorized personnel only. They will close the Uaya ruins. Now he informs that the prosperity of this land is assured and everyone celebrates that their nation will get everything. The meeting ends and everyone stays to exchange information. Kaito proposes that he will do the same. Mari thinks it's a good idea and prepares to talk to other people, but he reveals that he doesn't want to talk to anyone. He just wants to listen to what others are saying, which leaves her quite annoyed because in his world she was talking to everyone. Now it's his turn. But when she realizes that she's treating him like her husband, she dies of shame. Even so, she ends up dragging him to talk to the old man, who is a very famous mage named Aya. When Aya sees them, he already knows that they were the ones who discovered the labyrinth. Mari introduces herself politely, saying her name is Maribel and that she is a spiritual mage from 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐭𝐚𝐭𝐨, and Kaito is just Kaito. The old man says something very interesting when he sees his face. According to him, like the elf, he is not 100% human, but then he says he was joking and starts laughing. Anyway, the old man comments that this will be an exploration on a scale never seen before, since few have access. Kaito replies that this has to do with the value of the magical stones, so only people connected to the government will participate, which makes the old man think that this boy is very intelligent for someone so young. For Marie, it must be very difficult to deal with him, but he didn't expect her to answer that for her. He is very intelligent and very attentive, making it very fun to be with him. Because of these words, Kaito turns red as a tomato, and old Aya laughs a lot again. They also talk about magical stones. For this old man, that's not a real reason for a country to be happy, since he still doesn't know what they really are. Mari mentions that the cat race tends to refine these stones, which is very interesting since he has no idea why other races can't. For Aya, this is just a mystery. These stories are only about 200 years old. However, it's as if someone had erased all information related to that time, including the labyrinth they found. But anyway, the old man is tired of talking to these little children. Before leaving, he calls Hakan to give them something. Raikkonen approaches and introduces himself as the person responsible for the exploration. He himself says that he will allow them to enter, but they will be careful. However, Kaito says that for now, they won't participate, mainly because going alone is very dangerous. But besides that, Mari also needs permission from the Mages Guild. The old man realizes that they are not that crazy and congratulate them for that. The old man then takes the opportunity to tease them, saying that the boy is smarter than he looks. The elf is as smart as she looks. Even though they look like simple children, they live together. Everyone around starts laughing, thinking they are married. One of them even thinks that elves are quite liberal nowadays. The two die of shame. After that, they leave. Their goal was to get written permission. Now they can use it with the Mages Guild. But since Hakan asked them a favor, they need to go somewhere first. Kaito sees that Mari is almost melting from the heat, so he recommends that Mari try some of the clothes they sell there, since they look much cooler. At first, she hesitates a bit, because as a mage, she should look like a mage. But Kaito insists a lot. After trying on an outfit, she looks so beautiful that it leaves Kaito speechless. After finishing, they meet with Hakan, who notices Mari's clothes. He never thought he would see an elf dressed like that. They go to see Meg, who looks much better than before, so Kaito is happy about that. The first thing Meg does is thank him for rescuing him. Mari already goes to grab him. The reason for this meeting is because Hakan needs an interpreter to speak to a little cat. It seems he's been trying to teach the language, but Hakan isn't doing very well. The important thing is that Hakan shows him a magical stone that a group of explorers found. Mari asks Meg to touch it, and it begins to glow brightly, so they conclude that the stone is real. Even Mari feels its magical energy. Meg concentrates a little more, and the stone begins to levitate, and even changes color. This happens because he just refined it and changed its essence, turning it into a magical catalyst. Therefore, Kaito asks Meg if he feels the same as when he used the previous stone he had. He replies more or less, it's even similar, but he feels it's weaker, even though the smell is the same. I guess no one expected a stone to have a specific smell, right? Anyway, Kaito tells Hakan everything Meg just said, who becomes very happy and wants to inform his superiors immediately. But first, he asks Kaito for help to learn the beast language. After they say goodbye, they take the opportunity to eat something because they're starving. Since Meg hasn't eaten anything yet, the two will share lunch with him. The little cat loved the dish, although he doesn't know it's from another world. After finishing, Meg is completely full. Mag tells Meg that it would be cool if he finished his sentences with nya. He doesn't feel very comfortable doing that. Changing the subject, Kaito asks Meg for a favor and asks if he can take a look at the stone and the scale they obtained from the Arc Dragon, since maybe with luck he could refine it or something similar. Meg tries, and when he touches it, he tells Kaito that these things are amazing and he feels a force flowing inside him that cannot be refined. Kaito remembers the dragon saying that the scale she would give him was not a fallen magicless scale, rather one that had been personally ripped off. But that's not all. Meg also detects that there are words inside it, some words of permission or pact, and both remain active. Neither Mari nor Kaito understand very well what that means, but Meg tells them that they are sending energy to a very distant place. Mari notices that the light is fading. This makes them think that maybe the Arc Dragon is having problems. Kaito finds this impossible, since she's very powerful and he doesn't know 100% if this is true. But suddenly the two stones start blinking as if they were reacting to their voices, so Kaito speaks worriedly to the Archdragon in its language. When they blink, as if giving a signal, Mari and Kaito decide to see if something happened. Meanwhile, the Mages Guild is shown for the first time. There, a man tells the others that the Yuya ruins have been sealed, and that the official exploration of the labyrinth will begin soon. When Maribel returns, they will talk, but with her current level, they cannot send her to an AA level labyrinth. That's why they will send someone else in her place. Among them, this bearded guy, very strange, wants to go, but the woman next to him says that sending him would complicate diplomatic relations with Airili. Not only her, but the other people who could go seem to have remained quiet for no reason. For this reason, the woman suggests to the man who was speaking that he not look for a substitute, but send the one who found the labyrinth. And that's why the strange bearded guy starts provoking her, since according to him, she only says that because Mari is her favorite. She says it's a lie and just wants to see Mari's powers flourish. After that, the advisor tells everyone to shut up and they will talk when Maribel returns. For now, that's it. Right after that, we see the bearded man walking down the hall. He meets a very strange boy with a mask who asks if the bearded man was chosen as a substitute for the exploration. The bearded man answers with all the confidence in the world that yes, obviously leaving the two excited about all the riches they will find in the labyrinth. However, the only thing they wonder is how that elf found a labyrinth in another country. And that strange boy is what makes the bearded man most angry. Yes, he's referring to Kaito. Speaking of him, he is now with the lizard who guides the two to the dragon. Kaito takes the opportunity to ask his friend how the dragon is doing, who replies that lately she has been behaving very strangely. So Kaito already shits his pants and gets very worried. And it gets worse when the lizard says that she starts howling terribly during the night out of nowhere and has no idea what could happen if they irritated her. Even shitting himself, they continue walking. The lizard leaves them at a certain point. Mari and Kaito advance to where the dragon is, and when they arrive, they see a dragon with 3 very beautiful newborn babies. How cute. If you wanted to have one of these, leave it in the comments. Well, the two congratulate the Draconian on her babies. She transforms, hoping they brought something. Super excited, she tells them to hand it over quickly. Kaito hands over an empty pot. She realizes that they ate everything, so there's nothing for her. The poor Draconian starts crying because there's no food. She also starts complaining, saying that it's been very complicated taking care of these little creatures, feeding them with her own magical energy all day without rest. She can't even sleep, and on top of that, they don't give her anything to eat. Mari and Kaito are speechless, but the Draconian continues saying that they are lucky to live as a couple, but she has no husband. The bastard went to buy cigarettes and never came back and must be out there having fun, and she envies that and also wishes she could have fun attacking a city or something. Mari doesn't speak the language, but she understands that she looks super tired and stressed. Kaito has an idea. He tells her that on the weekend he was planning to go to some hot springs in his homeland. He ends up inviting her. The Draconian says that the form she's in now is just one of her dragon cores. Her main body will take care of her children and she can relax as much as she wants. So the idea is fantastic. Seeing her so happy, Mari asks Kaito what he said to her. And when she finds out that she's also coming on the trip with them, she complains to him for deciding things alone. After they leave, she argues with him. According to Mari, he is now forbidden to make decisions without consulting her first. Kaito, to escape the situation, asks Mari how late the Mages Guild is open because it's getting very late. She notices and runs off to work. Determined, she worked on the accumulated reports and lessons, and he also worked hard at his job. So they spent a long time without being together, although she travels with him to Japan. But finally, the weekend arrives, so they meet with the dragon. However, when they are inside the ruins, the mage we know appears since he was watching them. The bearded man and the crazy kid wonder why these two came to one of the forgotten ruins. He emphasizes that that place is very strange, but since everything there has already been explored, they have no idea what they are doing there. So they enter to follow them. They even see Kaito talking to a lizard man, who are supposedly very wild creatures. But these two look like brothers. They continue advancing and see some statues that look very abnormal. The statues are weapons of great power, but they do nothing against Kaito and Mari. The bearded man wants to continue investigating without going through the traps. So with a magic called Oracle, he can see farther, becoming incredulous when he sees the dragon's babies and their mother. Fortunately, it seems that the Archdragon detected them and makes the statues try to crush them. On the other hand, Kaito asks the dragon if everything is okay. She says there was a little bug outside, but nothing serious, and she prepares to sleep and appear in the other world. The bearded man and his companion manage to get out of the way in time, and with the information that they found an Archdragon. However, their most important question is to identify who Kaito is. Speaking of him, he just woke up in Japan with a somewhat curious look. The dragon managed to travel with him, and she appears lying next to him without clothes, and she had a small spasm while sleeping and ended up grabbing him. Instead of Kaito being grateful and enjoying it, he starts screaming at the top of his lungs, making both of them wake up. After that, the dragon contemplates the very different world before her, only she's not properly dressed yet. Kaito needs to cover his eyes, otherwise Mari will rip them out. The elf tries to explain to this woman that if she doesn't wear appropriate clothes, they won't be able to go out, but the real problem is the dragon's tail and horn that stand out on her. The dragon says they don't need to to worry, making Kaito notice something very interesting. She just spoke to Mari without any problems, meaning she masters the elves' language, which means she understood what they were saying from the very first day they met. The dragon says that a misunderstanding simply happened. They were muttering so she wouldn't hear the conversation, and she wanted to join in on the fun, and to stop them from complaining, she starts to glow. Kaito asks if he can look now, but Mari immediately covers him so he doesn't see, just in case. However, we see that she managed to put on clothes by herself using her dragon ability, since they are made of magical particles that she can control and shape as she wishes. That done, they can finally continue their trip. Unlike Mari, the dragon is very comfortable in the car and even thinks Kaito's car goes very slowly. He is happy that she's not bored, and indeed she is quite entertained by the buildings of this world, but not as much as Mari, who admires everything like a child. The dragon has such absurd intelligence that she can understand the use of things just by observing, and she also reveals her true name, which is Hydra. She revealed her name so that they would stop being so tense all the time in her presence, since she is bothered by being treated with respect just for being an arcane dragon. And Hydra just wants to relax today. Kaito also takes the opportunity to eat something, as he prepares some onigiri to eat while traveling. They are stuffed rice balls. When Hydra tastes it, she is delighted by how delicious they are, just like Mari. When they arrive at the location, Mari needs to put on a hat, so her ears don't show, which seems very uncomfortable for Hydra. Mari has no choice, even though she doesn't like it, since there would be a huge scandal if an elf came to this world. Hydra approaches her and plays with her ears, making them hide using a bit of magic in her own hair, the same way she snapped her fingers to release and tie her hair. Mari is so happy that she throws herself to hug Hydra, since she literally saved her life. Kaito also wants to know how he can thank her, making Hydra realize that these mortal children are adorable and good people. Kaito, as a thank you, gives Hydra and Mari a very special Shibuya food, some miso potatoes.
The truth is that the two are very disappointed because they are just potatoes on a stick, but they judged wrong because when they taste them, they fall in love with the particular flavor they have. And finally, after waiting so long, the hot springs they so desired arrived.
It's a beautiful and cozy place full of Japanese culture. Kaito had reserved a room with its own bathtub because of Mari's ears, but thanks to Hydra, now they can go bathe in the large bathrooms. Everyone gets ready and heads straight there. Hydra already arrives, wanting to go to the bathtub, the famous onsen. But Mari explains to her that first, they need to take a shower. Kaito says that this is part of good etiquette. She doesn't see much point in washing before washing, but she accepts. Hydra protects Mari so that no one sees her ears while she cleans herself. After that, they can finally enjoy the onsen. They are so relaxed that they can barely speak properly. It's a unique experience for them, and they are getting used to the luxury of this new world. Taking advantage of being alone, Hydra asks Mari if she thinks they will be able to explore that labyrinth, and she calmly replies that she's not sure because she doesn't know what her superiors think. Then she realizes that Hydra is aware of everything and asks how she did it, but she remembers little Meg, who warned her that the dragon's scales were containing, wanting to know what they would do. More than that, she wanted to observe Kaito since, as far as she knows, he's the only one who can travel between worlds, and she was worried that he might be a traitor who would use this advantage for something evil. Fortunately, in this situation, she could see that he's not like that. What she didn't expect is that his hobby is spending days hugging Mari. With that, she becomes very embarrassed and says she won't take Hydra to the baths again because she's a pervert. But Hydra says that's not fair since she just heard, so if they had kissed or something, she wouldn't have seen anything. This makes Mari even more embarrassed and makes her lower her head. Mari thinks she would never do anything like that, which makes Hydra understand that she is a child, and that Kaito, on the other hand, is a coward in these matters. Therefore, she decides to speak with her alone in a more private place. So they go to a room that she thought was a resting room, but when they open the door, they see some elderly ladies in a lot of steam, so they simply decide to turn around. But seeing that the little old ladies came out very radiant and happy, they want to try to enter. Hydra finds it very interesting since she understands that it's a bath that works with steam. But Mari doesn't like this idea so much because it's very hot. Even so, she endures it because she wants to know more about what Hydra said earlier, that she is a girl and Kaito is a coward. These words made Mari not feel very good. Hydra explains that her body is similar to that of spirits and also to that of elves, since both are similar to fairies. That is, they are very different from humans, which is quite obvious, but sometimes Mari forgets that and gets down. I didn't understand anything they said, but let's continue. Hydra gets irritated because she doesn't like her acting like that, and it's exactly those things that make her look like a child. She wants to make her understand that from her perspective, Mari wants to get to know that boy better, and little by little her body and her way of thinking are changing, only she doesn't realize it, and the day will come when she will be Kaito's partner. Mari, for her part, is surprised, but thinks that maybe she's not very attractive to him, since he hardly touches her or tries to do anything. She clarifies that she understands him, that he just wants to be respectful, and thanks him for that, and Hydra says that's what she means by calling him a coward. However, she says that they both have very obvious obvious chemistry and that she can easily prove it by testing him if she wants. After that, she leaves the bath and approaches Kaito. While Hydra continues bathing, he tells her that there are some foot baths nearby and invites her to try them. He notices that she is very red. She gives the excuse that she just got out of the sauna. While they are sitting cleaning their feet, they drink something and talk. She finds it incredible that they use hot water in so many ways and is having a lot of fun. She tells him that she wants to show her gratitude. Kaito asks what she means. Mari says that recently she was very embarrassed, but when she saw his sleepy face, she instantly relaxed. However, this definitely cannot continue like this. Mari begins to lean in while he slowly approaches. She tells him that he should also be a little embarrassed. Kaito doesn't understand what's happening, but Mari stands up to give him a kiss on his forehead. At that moment, seeing his face, she remembers Hydra's words, saying that the only thing she should try to do was kiss his hand, foot, or anywhere on him, and then just see his face. That way, she would know right away what he feels. After that, she stands up, saying it's time to meet her friend. Hydra thought they took too long. She was already very sad, helpless for having waited so long, and just wanted to eat something tasty after the bath. Kaito desperately tries to find the menu because Hydra started crying like a crazy girl. So they order a delicious stuffed pork that they enjoy a lot. In his mind, Kaito thinks he made the right decision to get a private room because thanks to that, they can relax as much as they want. Hydra is so relaxed that she starts rolling on the tatami but calms down when she tries a little alcohol. Mari also wants some, but she says Mari is still too young for that, which leaves her quite irritated because she's already an adult. Kaito notices that they argue like sisters. They go back to relaxing and enjoy the moment. Hydra in the private bathroom, Mari sleeping for drinking too much, and Kaito breathing calmly. He's fine outside, although he notices that something strange is happening to him. Everything ends well. After that, they are already gathered to go home after their mini adventures. Hydra finds it interesting how attentive Kaito is to Mari when she sees how he takes care of her, because for her, normally it's the woman who takes care of the man. Also, this boy only has eyes for Mari. Kaito tries to tell Hydra that she's wrong, but she retorts, saying that she was waiting for them the whole time. Kaito doesn't understand what she's talking about. It's then that Hydra explains that she's talking about the ancestral labyrinth. She means that they could have invited her from the beginning since they couldn't go in alone. Kaito is speechless. Since she's an archdragon, he didn't even think to invite her to the group. And Hydra starts crying because she's been left out all this time. Because of that, they make a small stop to drink something and calm down, although she says she's always been calm. Even so, Kaito asks how she's taking care of her children, and she tells him again that the body she uses now is just one of her 7 cores, while her main body takes care of them. Kaito uses this as an argument to say that if they invited her and something happened to her as a mother, it would be very bad. But Hydra yells at him to make him understand that this is very annoying because the only thing he should worry about is preparing lunch, while she will be the group's shield. And that's it. Hydra wants to have some fun with the two, so she demands that they take her along. Seeing her like that, Kaito is sure that he has already exceeded her patience limit, but still needs to wait until Mari agrees. Back in the other world, they are on their way to the Mages Guild to obtain permission to enter the labyrinth. However, before that, Kaito says it would be better to hide Hydra's dragon features again, or there is a probability of having some problems, something that Mari fully supports. That way, Hydra ends up giving in, but it doesn't take long for them to be intercepted by the bearded man. Yes, this guy is very annoying, famous bearded man. He stops and recognizes him, asks what a high-level mage is doing there for Hydra, and also for us. He's nothing but a nuisance. The bearded man doesn't waste time and asks Kaito if he was the one who, together with Mari, discovered a new labyrinth. So, very politely as a good gentleman, Kaito introduces himself and asks what he wants. The bearded man gets straight to the point. He wants to know why Kaito sometimes disappears out of nowhere. Yesterday, he entered those ruins, but when trying to follow him, his presence disappeared. In this world, a normal human cannot erase his energy trail so easily. Kaito gets a little irritated upon realizing that he was being followed, but the bearded man continues angry and now wants to know how that monster didn't destroy Kaito and Mari, since that dragon could destroy a continent if it wanted to. So why did it do nothing to these two? I don't know if you've noticed, but this idiot has an observation ability, and by sheer luck, he doesn't know that the dragon is the girl literally standing next to him. The bearded man, in turn, wants answers. Kaito asks what he's going to do with the information if they answer. Laughing, the bearded man says he's going to skin Kaito alive. Regardless of what he answers, he wants to know if he's a monster or not, and then he's going to have a barbecue while torturing everyone there. Soon after the main event, we'll be entering the labyrinth to finish whatever he finds inside and fill his pockets with gold. That will be his happy ending, defeating monsters or explorers, whatever. So he tells the masked kid to hold the women. Mari recognizes his magic as that of a spectre tamer. On the other hand, Kaito gets very serious and asks Hydra for a sword since he was a bit stupid and didn't bring any. Hydra realizes that he's changed since his beloved is in danger. Even so, she picks up a sword from somewhere I don't know. The important thing is that it's high quality, doesn't break, and is a thank you gift for the trip they took. Mari gives information about the magic that the bearded man uses, but the man tries to hurt her so she won't talk. Then the bearded man uses magic against the girls, but Hydra tells Kaito not to worry. So the real fight begins with the bearded man attacking from a distance while Kaito dodges the blows. Suddenly the scene changes and we are at the Mages Guild, where they want to judge whether the bearded man is truly worthy of exploring the labyrinth, because coincidentally something interesting is happening. The lady reveals through magic the fight between Kaito and the bearded man. Everyone wonders who the kid is. Some even ask if it wouldn't be better to intervene, since this could end very badly. However, Kaito is using an ability called Hest, which allows him to record the enemy's blows to later dodge and counter-attack. As for the bearded man, he's quite tired, since the kid is dodging everything and not fighting head-on. Even so, Kaito goes directly against him, trying to take revenge with everything. On the women's side, Mari warns that stupid kid that battles between guild members are forbidden. The little malignant milktooth says not to worry, since he hasn't laid a finger on her yet. However, he will continue with his psychological tricks and leave her on the verge of death. If she goes there and dies, it won't be his fault. So Mari complains to Hydra for not having prepared a shield when she said she would be the group's shield. But she replies that she didn't use it because she didn't see anyone using it so far. This leaves Mari even more irritated because Hydra isn't even preparing to fight. She even asks the boy if it's not true that she should try harder and at least use a shield. The fool has no idea what to answer. He ends up stuttering and gets irritated because he shouldn't be answering anything to them. But these crazy women ignore him and continue arguing. He finds Hydra's time very strange, but he'll find out her identity later. Meanwhile, the kid gets tired of waiting and starts using magic to summon some macabre beings. They are monster shadows called Evens. Mari is incredulous because he is using forbidden magic, and the boy laughs, saying he has great abilities and can't wait to destroy them all. Hydra, on the other hand, gets so tired of being disrespected and then reveals her dragon features. The boy has no idea what's happening, but suddenly something huge emerges from the ground. And when the creature rises, the boy sees a gigantic dragon that is devouring his summons as if they were nothing. Hydra's presence is so imposing that it breaks his mask, revealing that he's just a girl. Mari notices this and tells Hydra to take it a little easier since she's scaring the little girl. So Hydra tells the girl to behave, or next time she'll eat her, ending the fight in just a few seconds. Returning to Kaito, he strikes the bearded man repeatedly. However, he has an incredible defense, so it's better to wait for the right moment to attack his weak points. The problem is that when Kaito tries to attack, the bearded man dodges. Kaito understands that this isn't normal, so he deduces that the bearded man is using an ability that allows him to see the future or something similar. Even so, he doesn't stop and tries to hit him, but ends up being wounded by the bearded man and his swords. Everything gets complicated when the bearded man also discovers how Kaito's teleport works, since he always looks at where he wants to move, and its most important requirement is to have his feet on the ground. Thus the bearded man unbalances Kaito with his magic, giving him a strong kick and throwing him into the lake. Kaito dodges the swords underwater and looks to the side. He sees the girls calmly cheering for him, so he approaches to chat a bit. After all, it's not like there's a mage trying to kill him right now, right? Hydra says he fights too cleanly, and if he had one more ability, whether tricky or not, he'd be much stronger. Therefore, someday she will train him personally. On the other hand, Mari wants to help him, but he says it's okay. The bearded man sees them, and although he wanted to finish off Kaito quickly, he recognizes Hydra and understands that she is the dragon from the ruins. He even takes off his glasses to see better. Finally, his observation ability serves some purpose. However, Kaito is already back and ready for the second round. When he looks at the bearded man, he notices that his gaze is a bit scary and mocks him. In response, the bearded man fully activates his oracle ability, which took years to master, now belonging only to him, an ability called the Chosen One's Divine Oracle. Kaito answers with a question, wanting to know if he's going to use this ability just to get rich in the labyrinth. The bearded man replies that Kaito is no one to speak, since he collaborates with an arc dragon and wants to know what this kid intends to achieve. Kaito replies that not everyone is so stupid as to want to use their powers only for wealth, and he says all this while preparing to attack again. He teleports to confuse him, but this shouldn't work against the oracle. However, creatively, Kaito uses his abilities to make him overconfident. And when the time is right, the bearded man grabs his sword, thinking this plan is stupid. Now he's without a sword, but what he didn't expect was a slap in the face directly on the beard, all thanks to the bearded man's oracle ability being used against him. No matter how precise the oracle makes his attacks, it greatly reduces their variety, making them quite repetitive. What he didn't expect was that Kaito had the honest ability, which finished recording every blow the bearded man delivered, ensuring a precise victory. Everyone in the guild shouts with joy, seeing that the old man was defeated. With that resolved, they finally arrive at the Mages Guild. Kaito had never been there, so he didn't expect to see such an adorable old man as the guild master. The guy is literally a gnome who asks Marie about her new companions. She says they are strong and exceptional. With them, she can face the challenge of exploring the labyrinth without any problem. And since they've already saved her many times, she trusts them greatly. The old man suspects that she might be betrayed, but she proves otherwise. So he grants her permission to explore as she wishes. This surprises Marie, as she thought it would take much longer to investigate. Instead, the master says he already knows everything he needed. He calls 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐭𝐴, who is warmly received by Marie. Another very unexpected thing that happened is that the gnome knew Hydra and speaks to her as if they were old friends. Apparently, they were allies who fought side by side, causing disasters wherever they went, and had a lot of fun in the process. In honor of their friendship, the gnome asks her to allow him to take care of the idiots they fought, who are now in prison. Even though Hydra wants to eat them, she allows it. But fortunately, she now has a more refined stomach and only eats food. The gnome just laughs and says that as long as she doesn't eat people or gnomes anymore, it's fine. With that, Kaito returns to 𝐴𝐴𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆. The first thing they do is visit Meg, who is now more affectionate with Marie. However, when he sees Hydra, he panics and hides because she smells like a dragon. Hydra calms him down, showing a stone impregnated with her blood. She wants him to process it. He tells her that he can't do that. He can only refine. Even so, she trusts him, giving him the advice to guide the stone into the shape she desires. Meg tries. Although it's difficult, he manages to change its shape as if he were blowing a crystal. Hydra tells him to remember the feeling. Just listen to the stone and guide it. Marie thinks it's like they're molding molten glass. Kaito says it's a bit harder than that. Thus, the stone takes the form of a staff. Hydra asks him to put the name Maribel engraved on the staff, which will bring a new breath of life to the world. Marie finds the staff beautiful and thanks Hydra. She says it's just a reward for having created courage in the onsen. Kaito understands nothing, but that's how his new investigation journey begins. We are back in the labyrinth, or rather outside it, since Kaito and Hydra are observing how it has changed since the first time they found it. However, before entering, Kaito wants to go to the nearby market to buy supplies. Hydra says that in that case, it's better for them to go alone and she'll wait for them, because that way they can walk hand in hand. Marie becomes very embarrassed because Hydra is basically saying it's gonna be a date, but for her, Marie is just a very cute little girl. On the other hand, rumors are spreading among the people, saying that they lost contact with the first group that explored the labyrinth. Due to lack of information, they'll have to send the main team, which apparently is more professional. But the merchants are also happy, because thanks to this situation, they are making a lot of money, cheating innocent people with abusive prices. It's that famous gringo pays more, and precisely Kaito arrives. He wants a small tent, but the merchants say they are working for the government and have nothing for a little kid to buy. Marie appears very irritated because they are treating her baby badly, stating that they represent the city of Alexei and deserve more respect. Even so, the merchants say that demand is very high and everything is very expensive. They wanted to sell a small tent for 1 gold coin, which probably must be like buying a kinder egg. Fortunately, a very testosterone-filled man appears, saying it's shameful that they want to steal people's money. His name is 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 from the House of 1,000, stating that most groups use large campaign tents, so they must have many small tents, putting great pressure on these scammer merchants. 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 also asks Kaito and Marie if they are from Alexei, so they were the ones who discovered the labyrinth and look as young as the rumors said. If it weren't for them, these idiots wouldn't even have sales. Now, with this, they managed to buy everything they were looking for at a good price and return together to the labyrinth site, putting everything away at once. Kaito thanks them greatly for their help, since they even lent furniture. 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 tells him not to worry, because in that place there was only sand. But thanks to them, they found an ancestral labyrinth, and it is he who is very grateful. 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 even guarantees that if they need help, they shouldn't hesitate to ask. Just go to the exploration group and call his name, since there's no one who doesn't know him. Suddenly, a beautiful redhead named Dula appears, telling 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 to stop boasting and asks why 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 called her. Kaito is already left with his mouth open. 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 greets her and replies that he just wanted to introduce her to a kid who discovered the labyrinth. She looks at Kaito and says it's a pleasure to meet him, introducing herself as Dula, the captain of the Andalusite team. She also gives him some Paralite tea, which is a gift from her and 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆. He thanks her, and she says she'll be very happy if he likes her tea. 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒆 says she's very picky about choosing tea, so it will certainly be the best tea Kaito has ever tasted. With that said, she takes her leave, saying she's going to work, needs to prepare for tomorrow. After that, some of 𝐵𝒏𝒄𝒆's friends arrive, all telling him that he's crazy about her, despite having been rejected many times. Yeah, guys, I understand him. At nightfall, Marie is very happy because the borrowed furniture looks luxurious. Kaito agrees. He's used to camping outdoors, so that's too much for him. Hydra is not with them because she's observing other teams, so she won't go to Japan either. The two sleep and wake up in their usual apartment. This time they make a toast. But before that, Kaito tells her to open the package on the bedside table. When she opens it, we see that it's the tea that Dula gave him. Marie is surprised, and Kaito says that apparently he can take food from the other world to his without any problem, leaving Marie very happy. Both sit down to eat calmly. The girl is happy because she feels that a lot of time has passed, even though it's just a simple breakfast. Kaito replies that maybe it's because they've been without being alone for a long time, leaving the two embarrassed. After that, they wash the dishes and realize that without Hydra, there's a lot of silence. Kaito wonders what she's doing now. Mari doesn't express it, but she's quite irritated because he doesn't take advantage of the fact that they're alone. However, suddenly Kaito tells her that today he's free, so he wants to take the opportunity to cook something delicious with her. So they go shopping together. Mari takes the opportunity to practice her Japanese. Although sometimes she doesn't realize that she chooses very expensive things, they greet the little cat again, and Kaito gives her an ice cream. She has no idea what it is. So he explains that it's called a cone, and when she tastes it, she falls in love with the texture and flavor. Unintentionally, she also comments that Hydra would love it. She realizes that she also cares, since it's very strange that she didn't return to Japan with them. Kaito thinks that maybe she was being considerate, since they haven't been alone for a long time. If so, they should enjoy the time she gave them, so they go straight to cooking. Mari is preparing for battle with the onion in front of her. Kaito asks if she knows how to cut vegetables, offending her because she cooked alone in the other world, so there should be no problems. And he doesn't need to be so overprotective. She won't hurt herself with the knife. Actually, she has lived much longer than him. She starts to cry, probably because she was cutting onions. Fortunately, everything works out and the curry turns out delicious. She had tried one before, only that time Kaito used foreign spices. This time, the curry is 100% Japanese. Hydra, on the other hand, is quietly watching the moon. Suddenly, Kaito appears talking to her. Hydra asks if he was having fun in the other world. Kaito replies that on a night with such a beautiful moon, he wanted to invite a beautiful lady to dinner. Hydra asks if he's not ashamed to say such a thing. That's why Kaito says that's how they told him to invite her. And he continues saying that the chef is an elf who prepared a special menu for her friend and that he just came to escort her, making Hydra unable to refuse after so many insistences. Since it's such a fancy request, she hopes the food is very good. Returning to Japan, we see Hydra tasting the delicious curry. So good that even the chef thinks it turned out amazing, also being praised by Hydra, since she had no idea that Mari cooked so well. Kaito just smiles in the background, since most of it was done by him, while the poor elf cried because of the green onions. The food was so good that the girls repeated it several times, and poor Kaito thought he had cooked to last 2 days, but he already saw that it wouldn't. Hydra says she's sorry for taking advantage, but he says it's okay, since her help in the labyrinth will be very important. However, she says it's not necessary to invite her so often, arguing that office workers don't have many free days, and that he should have enjoyed them with his lady. Fortunately, it's not like that this month. Kaito has several days off this month thanks to an event called Golden Week, and Mari shows the calendar with the days he doesn't work. This doesn't excite Hydra much, since she doesn't understand vacations because she's always free, at least until they show her a video of a train, leaving her shocked at how fast and comfortable it looks. Also, it's widely used during vacation season, making Hydra very happy. Everything was going very well until Mari showed the tickets. Yes folks, there are only 2 tickets. Hydra thought that then Mari and she would travel together, or in another case that she would go with Kaito. But she gets very sad to learn that in reality, these tickets are for Mari and him to go visit Kaito's family. Hydra then understands that she's the only one who won't travel by train or go on vacation. Mari asks him if there's nothing that can be done. He would love to, but he's been spending a lot of money lately. With that, Hydra is now all sad because she also wanted to go. So she starts screaming. Kaito promises that next time they'll take her without fail and tries to calm her down along with Mari. But Hydra asks when the next time will be, since she thinks they'll forget about her, making the two promise that they'll definitely take her. The next day, they go to talk to Reikun. Actually, they just wanted to greet him and let him know they were going into the labyrinth. He is very happy to see them, but when they introduce Hydra, he goes crazy with her beauty. So the old man hits him on the head to stop him from drooling. Aya is also happy that they are ready to leave, and taking advantage that the discoverers of the labyrinth are there, he wants to show them something. He performs a very peculiar spell that shows a map of the labyrinth and leaves them very surprised. After that, Hakan hands them a magical object that contains the same map, but also works as a communicator, and Kaito is also very grateful for that. In addition, Rakan informs them that in their customs, groups choose the name that represents them, which catches them off guard. But Mari asks Kaito to choose the name, considering that the others chose something related to precious stones. Kaito looks into Mari's eyes and decides that they will be called Amethyst, officially ready to enter. What they didn't know was that there was a waiting line. Back to the Arabian Sheikhs, they receive calls from various teams informing them of the situation, such as the fact that they still have haven't found any monsters. The Topaz team asks who the young foreigners are and mocks them for not being properly equipped. It really seems like they are going for a picnic. For Aya, it's normal to think that, but there's nothing to worry about. Hakan asks if they'll really be okay. The old man replies, yes, these children will find things that most haven't even seen. Back to the group, the line finally ends, and they are ready to have fun exploring. Upon entering, everything is very dark. So Mari summons a spirit of light. Kaito notices that he's different from usual, and Hydra understands that she obtained a labarum that allows her to make pacts with higher level spirits. They continue advancing and come across a very particular mural. It contains ancient writing. Mari and Kaito read what it says. 3 things: night, star, and world. The arrow shot from the Star of Tomorrow destroyed the evil spirit. It's an ancient myth. The blow that reached the stars was a power that shouldn't exist in this world. The evil that temporarily lost even its ability to think will return to the world without delay. After all, the Star of Tomorrow was born. Mari says that this text probably talks about the era of demons, an era prior to the one they live in which the original living beings belonging to demons existed, also known as the era of night, because at the time it was said that only night existed. All living beings were pale and weak. From there, demons were born. Mari asks Hydra if she doesn't know more about this. However, she replies that the charm of mysteries is solving them, and since this is a new adventure for them, she doesn't want to spoil it. Kaito finds the mural scary, but also inspiring tranquility. For Mari, it's strange, but the dark blue attracts people. Anyway, they continue advancing and admiring the labyrinth, which was clearly very well preserved. Hydra, on the other hand, feels a sense of nostalgia, and Mari prepares to fight, but she's disappointed because no one comes. She was dying to test her new high-level staff. However, Kaito feels that a direct blow is coming toward him and dodges it by a hair. It was Hydra who tried to hit him. She says it would be a shame to leave without using the sword she gave him, so at least she'll train him, and with her as his opponent, he'd better despair so he doesn't end up as mincemeat. Thus, she continues launching insane blows. For her, this is a little revenge for the vacation, so Kaito has no other option. It seems she's taking it very seriously and doesn't stop chasing him, and Mari just watches. But suddenly a crazy time jump happens in which we see Kaito and Mari being woken up by a little cat. Kaito gets scared, but when Mari wakes up, the first thing she does is hug him very affectionately, because apparently Hydra wanted to be with them somehow. So she gave them one of her forms, which is this little cat. Hydra wants them to take this cat, since they are somehow connected. Meanwhile, she will be able to see, hear, and even taste what they give her, like a normal human. Just obviously she won't be able to speak. That's why we go straight to the trip and see how Mari is amazed by the number of people ready to board the train. And since the station is very large, almost a labyrinth, Kaito takes the opportunity to hold her hand to avoid being separated from his elf lady, who loved the idea and asked him not to let go of her hand no matter what. Taking advantage, they also look at the food they're gonna take and other things from the place. All the food seems delicious, so Mari asked the little cat for help. Kaito wanted to ask her to choose calmly, but the train is already arriving. When the train finally arrives, she goes crazy and super excited because she sees how fast it is. Also, it looks much bigger than in the videos. She tests its speed when inside, watching the landscape that can barely be seen because it passes too quickly. Hydra's little cat grumbles, wanting to see too. They don't wait long to start eating. Of course, they'll also give something for the cat to eat, so Hydra can taste a bit of the food. Kaito is also going to give her some of what he chose for Mari. Kaito offers a little of his to Mari. He didn't expect her to want it in her mouth. He was very embarrassed and almost missed her mouth, looking like a tomato. Then Mari tells him to give a little to Hydra too. After some travel time, Mari is already sleeping. Kaito thinks she was very tired from getting excited about everything and ended up falling asleep, just like the little cat. Meanwhile, knowing that he was going to visit his grandfather, he started to remember moments with him. This man took him to his house when Kaito was just a child. The strange thing is that Kaito doesn't remember what his house looked like, nor his old neighborhood. In fact, it's hard for him to even remember his mother's face. According to him, this might be because he was very focused on living his world that he had in dreams, which obviously ended up becoming real. Later, they finally arrive at the station. Mari notices that it's very cold there, different from Tokyo. After that, they take a bus, and now that Mari is awake, she can't stop looking at the beautiful landscape in front of her. She finds it very different from the city. In a way, everything is much calmer, and she even likes seeing the plantations that exist there. But Kaito tells her to prepare for an even more beautiful landscape, and when she turns to the side, she is faced with a very beautiful landscape full of nature with a mountain called Ayak. Kaito feels nostalgic. He immediately remembers that the first time he saw this place was in his grandfather's car. On that occasion, he heard his own voice. After a long time, was surprised and even got scared. After that, his grandfather just offered him some sweets, and now in the present, Mari offers him the same sweets to taste. She asks if it's tasty, and he confirms. When they finally arrive, there's just a little more walking. Mari is happy. Now the little cat can come out. Mari is in love with this place because it's very big. As for Kaito, he finds it very strange. strange. As a child, he always passed through this empty place, but never even noticed what catches Mari's attention. This makes her very curious to know what he was like as a child, because she's almost sure he must not have changed that much. However, a giant monster appears that leaves Mari frozen. And not only her, but the little cat too, who almost cries. It's a demon king who's about to kill everyone. Oh, I'm kidding, folks. It's just a cow. While Mari and the cat are dying of fear, Kaito thinks his grandfather is doing well for even raising a cow. Mari remembers the milk cartons, but in person they don't look much alike. After that, looking ahead, Kaito tells the elf where his old house was, the place where he grew up. Inside it, Kaito's grandfather hears the cow moo, so he goes to see what's happening, but ends up reuniting with Kaito, who has grown a lot. When they enter the house, the grandfather says that they traveled a lot, so it's time to rest. The beautiful, wonderful Mari tries to introduce herself in Japanese, which has been improving over time, earning a compliment from the old man saying she speaks very well. On the other hand, very shyly, Kaito gives a gift to the old man, who is very happy but finds it very strange that he's being so formal. Afterwards, he speaks with his deceased wife, telling how Kaito has grown a lot and now brought a very beautiful woman home. He takes the opportunity to say that Mari has very beautiful white hair and that she even looks like a fairy from a dream. Kaito freezes when he realizes the old man guessed. He apologizes for saying something very strange and tells Mari that his grandson slept a lot, but whenever he slept, he looked very happy. So he wondered if in his dreams he went to play somewhere. He also notices that they brought a little cat, so he pets it. After that, they pay tribute to his deceased grandmother. Mari takes the opportunity to ask if his grandfather knows about his dreams, but for Kaito, that's impossible. However, he doesn't deny that this man was always very observant. They continue walking around the place, and Mari is fascinated because it feels like she's living inside an anime. They come to a room, and she remembers an anime where monsters appeared behind a door similar to that place. She asks Kaito if she can open it. He lets her quietly, but when she opens it, there's nothing. Kaito takes her to where his room was and teases, saying that in reality, this room has a secret passage. The elf gets very excited and even asks the cat to be quiet so as not to disturb her. With the cat's help, after much searching, she realizes that there are stairs leading to a door at the top. Upon climbing and realizing that everything is dark, she starts to remember the monsters from the anime, and she just sees a shadow passing at high speed, so she gets very scared but still wants to search. So she tells the cat to go too, but he's very scared. The situation is so stupid that it makes Kaito laugh. However, his grandfather calls them to eat. Therefore, Mari must stop her search. But even so, she still believes that what she saw up there were monsters, not rats. The food is ready, and they start eating as if there's no tomorrow. The grandfather offers Kaito a little sake, which he seems to love, so much so that Mari got jealous. She also wanted some. So the grandfather also offers her a drink, and she falls in love with Japanese wine. Besides saying they can eat as much as they want, the old man also gives them a gift. It's a traditional art called kogin sinsashi. He ends up giving it to Mari. The cat is already full, and they finish eating. Finally, they offer to do the dishes. Even though Mari tries, she realizes that alcohol has started to take effect. After finishing, they take a short walk by moonlight and cell phone light, because it's getting very dark. The purpose of the walk is to recover from the wine they drank. To lighten up, Mari starts summoning spirits that suddenly begin to glow. This surprises Kaito, because it's the first time she's managed to do that in this world. She also can't believe it. Before she could see them more or less, but they never answered her call. So she tried calling them in Japanese. And since apparently the spirits appreciate the local language, they decided to listen to her. Kaito is very happy to see something so precious in his world. After thanking her, she becomes very embarrassed, and she thanks him back for bringing her and allowing her to enjoy the place. She says that when she met his grandfather, she realized that the two are very similar. He's very calm and seems to know everything. Also, she finds it very funny that his grandfather calls him Kaito all the time, while she keeps calling him Kasiro, but he reveals that it's his real name. Mari can't believe it, and he reveals that he was just stupid as a child and put the wrong name when he appeared in the other world. But yes, his real name isn't Kasiro, it's Kaito. She gets very angry. Even though she's been calling him wrong all this time, he never told her. For him, it didn't make any difference, but for her it did. So she starts repeating his name many times out loud, which for him is very embarrassing. When they return home, the grandfather asks how the walk was and wants to know if they are already more sober. Kaito asks if they can use the bathtub. Mari says he can use it alone and leaves. The grandfather notices that they are really not 100%. After meeting again in slightly more relaxed clothes, Kaito is enchanted by her beauty. So he calls her to come in and wonders what his child self would do if he found out he's dating an elf. Yeah, folks, this guy wanted life. His grandfather leaves a flashlight because the lamp doesn't get any response, so he takes a look inside the room and realizes that the two have already gone to the other world. Yes, folks, the old man really knows. He even told the two to have fun, but Kaito didn't go to the other world as he normally does. Now he's full of of doubts and doesn't even know where he's going. Suddenly, Mari's hand appears and grabs onto Kaito. According to him, as long as he's with her, it doesn't matter where he goes, love is truly beautiful. However, his strange dream is interrupted when he's woken up by Hydra. This surprises him since apparently she was going to visit her children. She makes it clear that distance for her is like a simple walk. And suddenly, she starts remembering what they ate yesterday, which was delicious. Mari gets up and agrees with her because the two are still enchanted by what they ate. Seeing them so relaxed, Kaito thinks it would be good to take a day off, so he proposes visiting some hot springs near his grandfather's house. Upon hearing that, the girls get very motivated. In fact, Hydra plans to give poor Kaito intensive training. Mari also joins in, saying she wants to test the power of her staff and see how far it can go. All because the two think they'll enjoy the bath more if they sweat before. So Kaito's rest was ruined that day. The next day, we had them waking up. His grandfather receives them with a ready breakfast, which as always they love. The old man says that if they're going out today, he'll lend them the car without any problems, but since they want to go to the hot spring first, they decide to walk since it's very close. So everyone sets off marching for the new adventure, except Hydra's cat, because his grandfather fell in love and the hot spring people wouldn't let a cat in. Poor Hydra. But actually no. While Kaito is at the reception, Hydra ran away from home. The receptionist asks if the cat is theirs, and he makes an excuse that cats like baths, which seems strange to the receptionist, but she looks for a solution since she loves cats and makes an exception. And when we see Mari, she's already inside. She enjoys her relaxing bath along with Hydra the cat, who also received a bathtub to relax. But suddenly some elderly ladies appear out of nowhere who start speaking Japanese, but with a very country accent. So Mari, after that, she leaves the bath and meets Kaito. She starts speaking Japanese, imitating the ladies' accent. Mari made friends with the ladies who taught her their dialect, so Kaito is very happy for her. After that, we see that now they're gonna use his grandfather's car to go out for a ride. Mari and Hydra show themselves to be very prepared. When it's time to leave, she greets his grandfather since they managed to see him from afar. He reflects that he never imagined seeing his grandson so happy. This brings him joy. When they arrive in the city, Mari admires the beautiful scenery of the cherry blossoms, thanks to the fact that in this place these trees bloom later than in Tokyo. Kaito knew this but didn't tell Mari because it was a surprise. A surprise that not only they enjoyed but Hydra's cat as well. Seeing them like that, Kaito takes a picture and he surprises Mari because she thinks again it's magic. So Kaito explains to her that on Earth they use this kind of artifact to capture memories. So Mari decides that she wants to take many of these memories with her. And there she goes, all happy, taking a picture of them together. Kaito turns red like a white rabbit's eye. After that, she wants to continue the walk excited, willing to take even more pictures. Kaito still can't get used to her calling him by the right name. After many photos, they come across a castle called Hirosaki. It was built in 1611 for the Tsugaru clan. Strange name, right? Although what is seen today is a reconstruction of the original, Mari ends up getting distracted because she can see a cherry blossom spirit. Not just one, but several. But Kaito continues to find it strange because he can't see anything. But it doesn't matter. They continue walking around there. They arrive at a place where ancient weapons are displayed. For the elf, they are incredible because she understands the power they can generate and starts thinking about how she could use them in the other world. Kaito realizes that she's creating a somewhat strange plan to conquer Earth, so he gets scared and takes her somewhere else. The problem is that Hydra also started to be enchanted by Japanese swords, which is even worse than Mari's case. And that's all the time. With every little thing they see, they find ways to dominate the world using Japanese strategies. When they finally visit something that doesn't awaken the worst in their minds, Kaito reflects for a moment. He thought he didn't have many childhood memories, but being there and remembering his grandfather shows that he was wrong. Mari notices that he's feeling very nostalgic. Kaito doesn't deny it. In fact, he's very happy to have returned to this city. As it couldn't be missed, they went to eat something. In this case, the food of the moment is takoyaki, which are dough balls filled with octopus. I don't even need to say that they loved it. In the end, while Kaito admires the landscape, Mari stares fixedly at him. When he notices, he asks what's happening. She replies that she just wanted to know if she would ever get tired of looking at him. She remembers the first time she arrived in Japan. Everything seemed magical. Remembering that, Kaito says it was wonderful to find her in his bed out of nowhere, besides being a huge surprise. This happened only a month ago, but they feel as if it's been an eternity. For Mari, many things have changed, but the truth is that the more she learns about Kaito, the more she enjoys herself. That's why she'll never get tired of looking at him. Kaito thinks the same thing. She continues saying that things by his side seem more beautiful. Even the cherry blossoms seem much more colorful. It's at that moment that she's hit by a gust of wind. Kaito manages to see a cherry blossom spirit out of nowhere. He looks at Mari and she seems more beautiful than ever, and he notices a petal near her lips. He tries to remove it, but everything happened very very quickly, as if they were hypnotized for a moment. Mari closes her eyes while Kaito approaches, and the two seal this moment with a golden key, sharing a very beautiful kiss. For us, it was just an instant, but for them, time stopped. When they returned to consciousness again, they were very red and couldn't even look each other in the eyes, and they remained like that until they got home. Kaito is taking a bath, but forgot his towel, so Mari brought him one. She takes advantage of the fact that they are separated by a wall, so she tries to talk to him about what happened, but she ends up getting very embarrassed and tells him to forget it. However, Kaito interrupts, asking her to continue, so she asks if he has ever kissed anyone else. Although it seems strange, Kaito says it's his first time. Even though he's an adult, he's never had that kind of intimacy with other people, which makes Mari very happy, but she ends up letting something slip and ends up saying that kisses are not common in her culture. Not that she's unpopular or anything, it's just that in her land, it's not a custom. She realizes that she doesn't need to be embarrassed since it was the first time for both of them, and Kaito goes back to his bath with apples. Leave in the comments what apples are for in the bath. Meanwhile, Mari helps his grandfather with the dishes. The old man notices that she is much happier than usual, so he asks if something good happened to her. She almost drops the plate, but the old man catches it and continues saying that she and Kaito get along very well. They even look like childhood friends, which makes Mari laugh because whether she wants it or not, it's true, but she's careful not to reveal anything weird, so she tries to explain it another way. However, the old man changes the subject and says he's going to show her something interesting. It's a photo album. For him, this album is a treasure. There he shows a photo of when Kaito was 14 years old, and he looks the same as he is in the other world. But there's one different thing that Mari notices. The grandfather seems to read her mind and says he sees loneliness in his eyes. The old man didn't expect his grandson to smile so much. Seeing him now, it's hard to believe he's the same person, but he talks about his daughter, that is Kaito's mother. She's a somewhat crazy woman who one day simply left, and no one knows where she went. She probably dreamed too. Since then, he and Kaito's grandmother took care of him. The kid showed no interest in people or animals. He spent the whole day sleeping, and few things could wake him up. When the day came that Kaito left for Tokyo, his grandfather thought he had gone looking for his mother and would never return. But not only did he return, he came accompanied by a beautiful lady by his side. That's why he thanks her, because he was able to see his grandson smile a lot because of her. The whole story began to touch Mari's heart, and the man continued saying to her that being there, she shouldn't worry about anything and can be who she really is. He gives a gentle blow to a petal that Mari had on her shoulder, which transforms into a spirit and releases her hair, revealing her true elf ears. But it doesn't stop there. The old man tells her that when you live for a long time, you realize that you need to accept that life has many mysteries, but even an old man can enjoy the stories of some dreams. All this while Mari starts screaming and gives him a big hug. Later, Kaito gets out of the bathroom and sees the two talking calmly, happy that they're okay, but he freaks out when he sees Mari with her ears exposed. He tries to signal to her, and when he comes, they laugh at the way he's acting. The trip finally ends with him saying goodbye to the old man. Mari gives him a very affectionate hug, thanking him for everything. The old man says that if Kaito wants to inherit his job, he will be happy to hand it over, but Kaito says he'll think about it. They say goodbye and get on the train. Kaito still doesn't know how his grandfather knew about the other world, but at least there's someone else who knows the truth about Mari, and that leaves him somewhat relieved in a way. Arriving in Tokyo, Mari feels that she's back home. Kaito feels that his home is with her. While walking towards the apartment, he realizes that his relationship with her has advanced a little, and asks Mari to continue together on this journey, both in this world and in the other.